Hello, I'm Eric Magnuson, the Director of Spring Arbor University's Master of Arts in Spiritual Formation and Leadership program. As a practical academic degree, the MSFL attempts to bring together the best academic and intellectual insight on spiritual formation with the best of our own personal and practical lived experience in the world. In other words, we try to bring together the life of the mind with the life of the heart. Now specifically, we focus on doing this in three really important ways. First, we long for our students to grow in their attentiveness to God's presence in their own lives and in the world. Second, we hope that they will cultivate a deeper awareness of their own truest selves, the unique persons that they have been created and called by God to be. And finally, we hope to cultivate and awaken an activeness in the world, so that they can partner with God's work of redemption and reconciliation and renewal in the lives of all of those who are around them in their neighborhoods and in their communities and all around the world. Today I want to talk a little bit more about the first of these three, about cultivating a deeper attentiveness to God and what God is doing in our own lives and in the world. Now, I happen to be a beekeeper, and this last summer I was spending some time visiting with one of my former theology professors, who happens to be a beekeeper himself. He'd recently returned from a trip to New Zealand, and he brought back a number of honeys from all around the island. Each of the honeys was beautiful in its own way. The uniqueness of each pollen that had come from the flowering plants that the bees had pollinated had come together to provide exquisite nuances, delicate flavors for each of the different honeys. As we sampled them side by side, attending carefully to the particular colors and aromas and viscosity and flavors, we came to see and to know more clearly the subtle and delicate uniqueness of each of the honeys. Developing a deeper attentiveness to God and to what God is doing in the world is something a little bit like that. Or it's like experiencing a cupping if you are sampling different types of coffee. Over time, you develop an ability to perceive the slight differences of each of the beans and the roasts. You become aware of the smokiness and the smoothness. You start to get the feel for the floral notes and the hints of caramel or chocolate. You learn to perceive the delicate flavors and can smell each of the distinct aromas of what is different in each of the unique coffees. You can even start to experience the ways the flavor profile changes as the temperature of the coffee begins to cool slightly. The ability to nurture this sense of perception, this deeper way of knowing, is the same thing we try to accomplish in the MSFL program, as we invite students to grow in their attentiveness to God and to what God is doing in their own lives and in the world. Over time, we come to know God more closely and more intimately, and to discover how God is active in areas and in the lives of those around us. We sense how God is moving in our own lives, and we also come to understand ourselves more fully in a more nuanced and more holistic way. This is right at the heart of what the MSFL program longs to do. Through the academic study and application of the principles of Christian spirituality and formation, we invite our students to grow in their attentiveness to what God is doing deep in God's own self, in what God is doing in our lives, and in what God is doing in the world all around us. We hope that you'd be interested in joining us on this adventure. If you think that this journey sounds right for you, we'd love to talk to you more about the possibility of joining one of our cohorts in Spring Arbor University's MSFL program.